Trading UK Grind for Jamaican Gold, Real Estate, Quality of Life, and My Journey to the Caribbean by Jamaica Homes, published on June 10, 2025. If you've ever dreamt of trading the relentless drizzle for year-round sunshine, or the daily grind for a more harmonious rhythm of life, then you might just understand the journey that led me from the bustling heart of London to the vibrant shores of Jamaica. This wasn't an overnight decision, nor a meticulously planned, years-in-advance expatriate move for retirement. No, this was a passage shaped by deep-rooted cultural ties, evolving perceptions of quality of life, and an astute eye for real estate opportunities, a passage that culminated in a bold decision during my working years. Let's get one thing straight from the outset. I'm not that Dean Jones, the Australian cricketer and coach, though it seems to be the very first thing that leaps into many people's minds when we meet. Am I a cricket fan? Not really, but I have a profound appreciation for the sport, given that my dad coached it and I endured the impact of a heavy red ball being tossed my way from the tender age of 7 during practice. Albeit in full protective clothing, it still stung on impact. Aside from that, this is my autobiography, a reflection on pivotal moments in my life as a Black person growing up in Greater London and the compelling reasons that eventually led me to a Caribbean homecoming. If you want to know where the seed was planted, I suppose the idea truly began back in 2008, when I decided I needed to start planning to invest in Jamaica. This was more than just a financial strategy. It was an intuitive pull towards a better quality of life, a sentiment shared by nearly half, 45% of Brits contemplating a move abroad. The ever-rising cost of living, a key reason for 39% of those considering a departure, and the undeniable allure of escaping the gray skies and endless drizzle, a factor for 37%, also played their part. Growing up, Sundays in our London home resonated with the sounds of Bob Marley, Gregory Isaacs, my cousin on my mom's side, Toots and the Maytals, a musical backdrop affectionately known as the Rice and Peas Selection. These were the days of pirate radio stations, a cultural lifeline in the 80s and 90s, speaking directly to our identity and playing the music our parents yearned to hear. These were, for many, the golden years of a strong Black community. I remember the advent of the Voice newspaper in 1982, a beacon of Black British journalism, followed by the groundbreaking sketch comedy of The Real McCoy, which first aired in 1991. The television landscape slowly began to reflect our reality, with the first Black family, the Barrages, appearing in EastEnders in 1990. I, of course, keenly remember the quiet strength of Black police officers making their presence felt in The Bill, shows I devoured sequentially: Tuesdays for The Bill, Wednesdays for Star Trek, and Thursday for Top of the Pops. The electrifying moments when Shabba Ranks and Shaggy stormed the UK charts were celebrated with an energy and excitement in our home that showed London was truly embracing reggae dancehall. These were formative years, vibrant and full of communal spirit. Don't live the same year 75 times and call it a life. Robin Sharma. This quote from Robin Sharma resonated deeply with me as I contemplated another reason I eventually said goodbye to the UK: job satisfaction struggles and the mundane cycle. The commute to work at 7 a.m., eating lunch at my desk, rushing home for dinner, and then repeating it all again felt less like a life and more like a never-ending loop. While everyone's experience differs, it's undeniably harder to find that invigorating spark when constantly battling the classic British weather. Many feel overworked, underappreciated, and simply exhausted. Indeed, recent statistics show that 30% of workers reported their well-being had suffered over the past year, with long hours, high pressure, and a lack of recognition being common complaints across industries like transport, IT, sales, and retail. Beyond the personal grind, a growing sense of unsafety began to permeate the UK. While perceptions of safety had been deteriorating for a few years, things felt particularly acute post-2022. Crime rates, especially violent and sexual crimes, saw a notable uptick, according to the Crime Survey for England and Wales. These categories increased by nearly 10% in 2024 compared to the previous year. This palpable shift contributed to a collective unease. The early 2000s also brought a subtle but significant change: the gradual disappearance of the vibrant Afro-Caribbean community centers that were once the heart of our social lives. Community groups seemed to fade, unions lost some of their robust power, unless you were a train driver, and the tight-knit Caribbean community, once a bedrock of laughter, entrepreneurship, and success, seemed to disperse. I remember the significance of shows like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which, despite its American context, brought a black family's home life into mainstream British households, challenging many ignorant perceptions prevalent back then. The notion that if you were from Jamaica or of Jamaican descent, you must shook weed like Bob Marley. Many from my grandparents and the Windrush generation, despite facing initial adversity and taking jobs nobody else wanted, thrived, particularly in real estate. They were hardworking, smart, and viewed property not just as a home, but as an investment. They purchased those 3- and 4-story houses in areas like Stoke Newington, Brixton, and Islington, often paying them off in a decade. It wasn't uncommon for people from Jamaica and other islands to own multiple homes, seeing property as a place to lay your head, while also a savvy financial asset, with multiple people often sharing residences. Addos, clear blue skies, calm waters, reflecting the optimism of the era. Black Jamaican passengers dressed in authentic attire, bustling on deck. Men in suits, fedoras, and trilbies, some holding vintage suitcases, others wearing casual work clothing. Women in modest, knee-length dresses, headscarves, and pearl necklaces, exuding hope, curiosity, and pride. The ship's massive structure towers behind, Windrush emblazoned on its side in bold Art Deco lettering. Inspired by the cinematography of Roger Deakins, influenced by the vibrant colors of Gordon Parks, and the poignant realism of Malik Sidibe, with a touch of classical Hollywood grandeur. Historical HMT Empire Windrush ship arriving in Britain, 1940s. Warm sunlight casting long shadows, clear blue skies, calm waters, reflecting the optimism of the era. Black Jamaican passengers dressed in authentic attire, bustling on deck. Men in suits, fedoras, and trilbies, some holding vintage suitcases, others wearing casual work clothing. Women in modest, knee-length dresses, headscarves, and pearl necklaces, exuding hope, curiosity, and pride. The ship's massive structure towers behind, Windrush emblazoned on its side in bold Art Deco lettering. Inspired by the cinematography of Roger Deakins, influenced by the vibrant colors of Gordon Parks, and the poignant realism of Malik Sidibe. With a touch of classical Hollywood grandeur, home isn't just a place on a map. It's where your spirit feels free to roam and build. Dean Jones, founder of Jamaica Homes, realtor associate at Coldwell Banker Jamaica Realty. This sentiment perfectly encapsulates the shift in my perspective. While England undoubtedly offers myriad opportunities and a vast job market, there comes a point where the spiritual cost outweighs the material gain. The UK's cost of living crisis, making headlines since 2021, continues to bite. While inflation has slowed, prices aren't dropping. They're just rising at a slower pace. Housing, energy, and basic groceries relentlessly consume a larger share of incomes, and wages haven't kept pace. Then we must talk about the undeniable decline of an institution once the pride of the UK, the NHS. The National Health Service is a central pillar of UK life, yet post-2022 data indicates heavy strain. By 2023, over 7.4 million people were on the waiting list for non-emergency treatments. The median waiting time from referral to treatment increased, with fewer than 60% of patients seen within the 18-week target. Services like hip replacements or cataract surgeries can take months beyond standard wait times. emergency departments have been particularly overwhelmed, with A&E waiting times reaching new highs. In 2023, only 74% of patients were seen within the 4-hour target in England's A&E departments, a stark drop from 90% in 2019. The situation deteriorated further in 2024, with over 1.5 million people waiting more than 12 hours in A&E before admission. Let that sink in for a moment. 1.5 million people needing to wait more than 12 hours in an emergency department. It's a dramatic and heartbreaking situation. I remember the days when my doctor would advise me to go home and drink lots of cranberry juice or take some cod liver oil. You don't get doctors like those anymore in the UK. Before you know it, you're on a prescription, sometimes seemingly mandated. Jamaica isn't entirely different in its modern medical practices, but you still encounter doctors with knowledge passed down through generations, recommending natural remedies like soursop leaf tea, cerasee tea, or black charcoal for an upset stomach. Perhaps the good old days were when professionals had more freedom to share holistic knowledge. While the UK's medical advancements are undeniable, the shift from prevention to patching up is palpable. Jamaica isn't just an island. It's a profound narrative of resilience, opportunity, and the perpetual rhythm of new beginnings. Dean Jones, founder of Jamaica Homes, realtor associate at Coldwell Banker Jamaica Realty. This encapsulates the essence of what Jamaica offers. It feels like a land ripe for opportunity, yet paradoxically underdeveloped. The system is broken, undoubtedly needing a reset, which means there's work to be done. But this work to be done is precisely where the opportunity lies. While it might feel like everyone you know is heading for sunnier shores, the numbers tell a more balanced story. In the year ending June 2024, around 479,000 people left the UK, but only 79,000 were British citizens. That's a drop from previous years. 98,000 Brits left in late 2023, and if you go back to early 2020, it was as high as 157,000. For over 20 years, at least 100,000 more people moved to the UK than left annually. People have always been coming and going. It's just more noticeable now, with rising living costs, the Brexit aftermath, and career frustrations. This current wave of movement, particularly among younger generations, is interesting. As a young millennial, it feels like everyone I know has lived abroad at some point. The same can't be said for older generations. Why? It could be the rise of digital nomads, travel becoming more accessible, or those tempting TikToks of sunsets and sangria. But for many, like me, it's about seeking a deeper connection and a more fulfilling life. Jamaica, in its essence, offers a simpler yet profoundly rich existence. Yes, it has its challenges, and the system needs work, but you can either complain or get on board and contribute. Nascent movement for the government to create pathways for people to help, but equally, we can all contribute in small ways. We talk about the good old days in the UK, but perhaps that was a time when professionals had more freedom to share knowledge. Here in Jamaica, while the healthcare system is not without its issues, the emphasis on fresh food, avoiding processed items, and the enduring wisdom of traditional remedies offer a path to preventive health that feels increasingly absent elsewhere. The allure of Jamaica extends beyond the everyday. Forward-thinking individuals, like Lennox Lewis, quietly relocated to Jamaica many years ago. Building a mansion. Countless superstars worldwide have invested in Jamaican real estate, drawn by its beauty and potential. While England offers a multi-layered complexity, Jamaica, at first glance, appears deceptively simple. Yet you'll have to delve beneath the surface and spend time here to truly appreciate its depth and multifaceted character. It's mind-boggling, actually. I went to St. Martin's College of Art and Design, arguably one of the best art schools in the world then and perhaps now, collecting multiple degrees along the way. England does offer immense opportunity, and there are certainly more jobs. But life, like nature, has seasons. And perhaps right now is my season of Jamaica. Home isn't always where you're raised. Sometimes it's where you begin again. Dean Jones, founder of Jamaica Homes, Realtor Associate at Coldwell Banker Jamaica Realty. So if you're a Brit contemplating a change, yearning for better weather, lower taxes, a greater sense of community, and a lower cost of living, you're not alone. I'm just a humble Realtor Associate, but I'd be honored to help you find your way home, whether that's to or from Jamaica. Ready to make the move? Have questions about life in Jamaica? Let's talk. Contact me for relocation assistance to or from Jamaica. 1-877-418-2524. Here are a few options for a disclaimer for your blog post, ranging from more concise to more comprehensive. Choose the one that best fits your comfort level and the overall tone of your blog. Option 1. Concise and standard disclaimer. The views expressed in this blog post are solely my personal experiences and opinions. This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as professional financial, legal, medical, or relocation advice. Always consult with qualified professionals for specific guidance tailored to your individual circumstances. Information provided may be subject to change. Option 2. More comprehensive. Important disclaimer. This blog post reflects my personal journey, observations, and experiences regarding relocation from the UK to Jamaica. While I strive to provide accurate and insightful information, this content is intended for general informational and entertainment purposes only, and does not constitute professional advice. Not professional advice. The discussions on real estate, cost of living, healthcare, including the NHS, and lifestyle are based on my personal experiences and research. They are not substitutes for professional financial, legal, tax, medical, or real estate consultation. Readers are strongly encouraged to seek independent advice from qualified experts before making any personal, financial, or relocation decisions. Subjectivity and variation. Personal experiences and market conditions can vary significantly. What worked for me may not be applicable to everyone. Information regarding services, costs, and regulations is subject to change and may not be current at the time of your reading. No endorsement. Mention of specific services, companies, or locations is for illustrative purposes only and does not imply endorsement or recommendation. Limitation of liability. By reading this blog post, you agree that the author and publisher are not responsible for any actions taken or not taken as a result of the information presented herein. Option 3. Blended with a personal touch, a note from Dean. Disclaimer. This blog post is a heartfelt sharing of my personal journey from the UK to Jamaica, woven with observations on real estate, lifestyle shifts, and broader societal themes. While I've put my genuine experiences and insights into these words, please remember that this content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Think of it as a friendly conversation, not a consultation. For any significant decisions concerning your finances, legal matters, health, or a potential relocation, I strongly advise you to connect with qualified professionals who can offer tailored advice. Life circumstances vary wildly, and what was true for my journey might differ for yours. Information can also change, so always verify critical details. My aim is to inspire and inform, not to provide definitive professional guidance.